Joining us now to discuss more on the UK riots is a foreign affairs analyst, Bolu Michael-Biyi. He joins us from London, UK. Thank you for giving us your time. Please do help us understand the primary factors that have contributed to the unrest in the UK and how significant the role of misinformation was in exacerbating the issues.
All right. Thank you for having me. The unrest in the UK is felt by various factors, not just a primary issue. I think it's as a result of, pent-up displeasure or the cast as a result of pent-up emotions against, foreigners or immigrants to the United Kingdom, coupled by the, frustration from the botched deal with Rwanda to send asylum seekers to Rwanda. A couple of factors, the belief that jobs are being taken away from, British people by foreigners, and a couple of factors. I think what broke the camel's back, what happened in the Southport, it's such a gruesome scene, and it feel like probably it's not going to happen if it was purely British society, which is untrue. It's just unfortunate that it's being perpetrated by persons with foreign roots. So the implication of misinformation is that to lead to several conspiracy theories, and it could embolden people, through social media engagement and all that, and that may make the riot not to end in good time.
How has the government's response, including the deployment of thousands of officers and in particular the stance of the Deputy Prime Minister, impacted the situation on the ground?
Well, I think the Prime Minister himself, Keir Starmer, has taken that bold step of addressing the British public and also assuring that the government is on the side of the people and against any anti-racist, any racist protest, which is, I think that's very important and quite significant. So we've seen as well, several chief constables of different areas or regions come out to speak against anybody that may be part of the protest or intending to do so, and retrospective facial recognition technology is being used to identify anybody who will participate in such riots. So I think the strategies in place by the British law enforcement seem to be quite, adequate so far, and the British police have the capacity to actually handle such riots. They're well trained, and the British public know that they and the police force, they're not up for any kind of jokes.
What are the implications of the riots for community relations, especially in Southport and other affected areas, and how might this influence local dynamics moving forward?
Well, it could lead to a level of mistrust between the authorities as well as the residents of Southport, and the residents may also have this, deep tension. And I mean, the communities may have deep tensions, and the residents may feel a level of fear, anxiety, or a feeling of insecurity, and the dynamics may be shaped by, increased demand for change and certain levels of polarization and other contributing factors.
What strategies might the UK government and law enforcement employ to address and possibly prevent similar incidents of unrest in the future?
Well, I think it's a couple of strategies could be in place, but I think a couple of things are quite should be the first step. In my opinion, I think it's very important to have more law enforcement on the streets of UK, more law enforcement on the streets, because that's how the quicker people have access to law enforcement, officers, the quicker they'll be able to respond. The response of the law enforcement must be fast as well. Also, the hotspots for potential incidents like this should be identified, and this can allow, them to this can prevent rather the occurrence of this kind of riots across the United Kingdom, and I think the social media as well should be monitored, because that's where the mobilization takes place.
Bolu, thank you for speaking with us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.